Sunday Service, episode number 65. Hot off of UFC 322. Ended with the worst way it could end. 50 minutes of lay and pray. 2 title fights that were going to go down as probably very forgettable or maybe unforgettable for how bad they were. Terrible title fights, but the main card started off perfect, started off beautifully. A 16-second KO, Beneil Dariush goes to sleep. And then we got Carlos Prates going in there, getting rabbit punched to the face, acting like he doesn't care, and absolutely sleeps Leon Edwards in round 2. And then we build up to the second welterweight fight. We got Michael Morales, Sean Brady. Morales just steamrolls through the double knee sleeve Sean Brady. The vibes were high. The vibes were high. The fights were amazing. It looked like this could turn out to be one of the best cards, not just of the year, but maybe of the decade. Then Valentina Shevchenko went in there and absolutely stunk it up. Zhang Weili stunk it up. And to follow it up, it's okay. Women's MMA, it happens. It happens. It's never like, Valentina Shevchenko fight is really ever that exciting. But to follow it up, we got JDM, one of the most exciting strikers that we've ever seen. The guy's pace, pressure, he's just a violent guy. Islam Makhachev, one of the most violent finishers we've seen. Knocked out Volk, submitted Charles Oliveira, submitted Moicano with ease. This guy finishes almost everybody. What does he do? Wins by any means necessary. Any means necessary, and what that was basically get this guy down on the ground, hold him, don't even really attempt ground and pound, and if you do, never really try to extend yourself to actually inflict damage. And 25 minutes of lay and pray, and that was brutal to watch. Brutal to watch because that's not who Islam Makhachev is, dude. That's not who he is. Islam's a finisher. Islam is an exciting Dagestani fighter. He's not really just a crotch sniffer. He's going to go in there, strike with you, mix in some takedowns, and work for a finish, whether that's ground and pound or whether that's threatening with a submission. He's going to look for that finish at all times. But it looked to me like Makhachev wanted to get this one done by any means necessary because of the unknowns. The unknowns of how is his cardio going to be at 170? Is he going to be able to take punches from a guy like Jack Della Maddalena? So he got it done by any means necessary. Yes, you can hate on him for that. You can hate on him for that performance, but you don't really have to hate on the guy. I actually love Islam. I think he's a funny dude and a very good fighter, arguably the best fighter of all time. If you're going to tell me Islam Makhachev is, in your opinion, the greatest fighter of all time, I'm not going to argue with you. All right. I think that's pretty valid. I think it's pretty valid. The guy has pretty much dominated all of his opponents outside of his one loss. And even the close fights that he's been in, is it really that close, or is it just because his opponent did better than we expected? I think that's what it comes down to. I think he's far surpassed Khabib. Khabib cut his career short. If he went longer, definitely could have been better. Who knows? But Islam's the guy that's put it on the line more times and went up a weight class, took more risks. So if you're going to tell me Islam's the best fighter of all time, I'm not going to argue with you, man. But those are my initial thoughts on last night. Obviously, we had more fights to talk about. A couple of highlights here. We got Bo Nickel, round 3 KO, whatever. And he gets it done. Okay. 36-year-old Adolfo Vieira, whatever. Ethan Ewing. Holy shit, Ethan Ewing got that one done. Susarkayev, not the best performance. Kyle Dawkins, club and sub, cool. RoboCop decision win. Blanchfield submission win, I guess. Tracy Cortez takes it now. Gotta love it. But those are my initial thoughts. I'll start reading some of these chats, and we can get into some topics that you guys are interested in. See what you guys got to say about last night. And, of course, we're going to have to talk about where the welterweight division is going to go now, because Islam's the champion. who does JDM fight next? Next week, we got Bilal versus Ian Gary. Are they in the title picture? We got Morales and Prates. Do one of those guys get the title shot right away? Or do we still have Shavkat Rakhmonov? We got Kamaru Usman. There's so many faces in the welterweight division where it's pretty much wide open. It's not like Islam's fought any of these guys. So the welterweight division is like, it's pretty fun, man. I think it's probably the most fun division we got right now. Leon Pack, oh my God, he got smoked bad. You know what? I got some shit in my throat, but I'm still going to throw in a celebratory Zin because we hit a nice 20x payout on Underdog last night, and a lot of people cashed in with me. And before I hopped on this live, I hit a nice little 5-leg NFL parlay, which doesn't happen all that often. So celebratory Zin going in the cheek, or the lip, I should say. And we'll hit the chats. Dixon Sider, did you know Malcolm Wellmaker? I got to enlarge this so I can see it. Did you know Malcolm Wellmaker has now been hired to work alongside Patchy Mix, Jacqueline Amaran, and Isaac Dolgarian down at the local Mickey D's? That's where they truly belong, not the UFC. Man, I honestly thought Ethan Ewing had a good chance to win that fight. But ultimately, I thought, the 48 hours notice, I was like, do I want to, bet on a guy that's taking a fight on 48 hours notice? Not really. But I thought he had a good chance. Like, Ethan Ewing's good, dude. Like, everyone expected Wellmaker to just KO him round one like he was some bum. Ethan Ewing's solid. So if you lost money on Malcolm Wellmaker, that is on you, because that tells me you watched no tape whatsoever on Ethan Ewing and you just threw something out there, because Ewing's a good fighter, man. What's good, bro? How we doing? Had 5 units on Dawkins by KO. Oh, God. That's tough, bro. That's tough. Like the Sphere title fights ruined a great card. And you know what's crazy is who else was on that Sphere card? Valentina Shevchenko. Once again, if you're going to tell me Valentina Shevchenko is the best fighter of all time, I'm not going to argue with you. Or the best women's MMA fighter of all time, I'm not going to argue with you. She's probably the best women's fighter of all time. I mean, she went to very close fights with Amanda Nunes, who everybody says is the women's GOAT, I should say, the lady GOAT. And outside of that, I mean, she was up a weight class for that too. And outside of that, she's pretty much beaten everybody. So, yeah, she's boring as fuck, but she wins, man. She wins. Dariush fucked by parlays. He got slept bad, dude. I mean, that wasn't even like a big, clean shot that Benoit landed. It was just like a get off me type of punch. And he folded him, dude. It was bad. 50 minutes of playing it safe. Absolutely. I agree with you. Anyone who said it wasn't boring is lying. Yeah, Islam dominated. I'll give you that. But it was just boring to watch. 100%, dude. It's actually crazy to me that you could sit there and honestly, like, you have to be lying. You have to be lying. It's not exciting to watch some guy lay on another guy in half guard for 4 minutes of the round. That's not exciting. You can say it is because you like the fighter and you like that they're winning, but that's just not exciting. If you want to see that, like, just fucking watch wrestling or something. Like, that's not what fighting is about. This isn't the ultimate mixed martial arts competition. This is the ultimate fighting championship. To watch a guy lay on another guy in half guard for 4 minutes of the round for 5 straight rounds and not attempt any submissions, not really look to inflict a ton of damage. Islam landed 7 significant ground strikes. 7 significant ground strikes off of 19 minutes of control time. I mean, come on, dude. Like, I know he won and it was dominant. He barely took, he probably took little to zero damage in the fight, but he didn't inflict a lot of damage. Like, it's not like he went in there and just beat the brakes off of JDM. He just outclassed him in one skill. And yeah, I guess that's part of MMA, which is fine. But you don't have to lie and say that it's entertaining. Like, you're really reaching, man. You're really reaching. At least 3 KOs. Dude, honestly, those were 3 sick KOs to start off the main card. The Prates KO was insane, man. Insane. I did not think that Prates would flatline another fighter. I'm like waiting for this guy. Not that I'm like doubting him, but I'm waiting for this guy to like TKO somebody, like hurt him, follow it up with some shots, they cower away, kind of like Morales did to Sean Brady. Prates just fucking flatlines you, bro. Like his punches are just different. The cigarettes in his fists just put you out cold, man. It's disgusting. I don't know how he does it, dude. It's insane. He is truly a nightmare, bro. To do that to Leon Edwards, never been knocked out in how many fights, who also has very good striking defense. The way he set it up, too, was beautiful, bro. The way he set it up. I mean, he just waited for Leon to switch into orthodox. And anyone knows when you're southpaw against an orthodox, that power hand, that left hand down the pipe, that's going to be your money shot. He waited for Leon to go to orthodox and then took his opportunity right away, left hand down the pipe. Good night. Good night. And Leon was literally like, it was bad, dude. He was like smiling after he got dropped, but I don't think that was like a smile that he could control. It's like he got punched so hard. His mind was like, holy fuck, that was fucking crazy. And then he just went to sleep with one follow-up punch. And then the dude sits up, and the bald spot on Leon Edwards' head was Kevin Durant-esque. It was bad, dude. It was bad. Like, you should just go bald at that point. You should just go bald. That's what I do. I mean, I'm not like rocking oh shit. Let's put that back on. I actually fucked up my own haircut the other day. Like really fucked it up bad. So yeah, it usually doesn't look that bad. I think the lights got it pretty bad, but at least I could say something about a man's bald spot. All right. I could say something about a man's bald spot, but holy shit, dude, Prates is insane. Morales still living on the high of that LOL straight up. Stole the contention. Stole title contention from Brady. That's kind of what I want to see is, does Dana actually give Morales a title shot? I feel like we should talk about that a little bit. Unfortunately, could probably see Prates versus Morales in the meantime. Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about it right now. So Islam hasn't fought any of these guys at welterweight. So he's got a ton of matchups that he could take. But considering what he just did to JDM, how can we give him one of these unproven guys? I don't want to say unproven. How can we give him one of these knockout punchers like a JDM was, whether it's Carlos Prates, whether it's Michael Morales? How can we give Islam one of those guys that are dangerous, that don't have title contention? Like, Islam's not going to take those fights, or he's going to be very reluctant too. So I would find it very hard to believe that the UFC gives Islam a Morales or a Prates. So I kind of hate to say it, but it makes the most sense to probably do Islam versus Kamaru Usman. I'm not saying Usman deserves it, but I think that's probably what the UFC is going to do. I mean, Usman has a great wrestling base. Is Islam going to go in there and just take down Kamaru? I kind of doubt it. Kamaru can also strike. He's old as shit, and I think his body's falling apart. But he's coming off a win. But he only has one win in the last 3 years. So that's where it's tough to say he deserves this title shot. But I actually think it could be a decent fight. So I kind of think the UFC is going to do that. Islam versus Kamaru Usman. I'm sure the manager, Ali, who manages Islam and Kamaru, will probably be down for that. I'm sure that's probably what he wants. So I kind of feel like that's what the UFC is going to do. Because are you really going to sell a fight, be like Michael Morales? He's going to go in there and beat Islam. Now, he could. He definitely could. But it's going to be hard to sell that. It's going to be hard to sell that. it would be easier to sell Kamaru Usman, one of the greatest welterweights of all time, is going to take on Islam Makhachev. I think that's easier to sell. So then what do you do with Morales and Prates? Well, you have Shavkat. You have Joaquin Buckley. I think you do Michael Morales versus maybe the winner of Ian Gary versus Bilal Muhammad. Morales versus the winner of those. Then you could do JDM versus Sean Brady. Or you could do, or then you could do Prates versus Shavkat. Because I don't think you can do Shavkat versus Morales because they're both undefeated. And I don't think the UFC wants to put them together because they want to keep that undefeated marketability out there for when they fight for the title. So yeah, I mean, like, the welterweight division is great, but I kind of feel like the UFC is going to give Islam Kamaru because it's probably a fight that Islam's willing to accept because it's against one of the best or the greatest welterweight of all time, one of the greatest welterweights of all time, and the UFC can sell it that way. But I'm not saying he deserves it by any means. At the end of the day, though, the fighters are trying to win. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it didn't make for an entertaining main event, but they dominated. Yeah. It does. I mean, it sucks, man. Like, I can't imagine paying $2,000-$3,000 to go see the fights at Madison Square Garden and then have to sit there for 50 minutes of lay and pray in the two title fights that you probably bought the tickets for, you know, or at least the main event that you probably bought the ticket for. That's where it sucks, man. That's where it sucks. Luckily, I've never been to a UFC card where the main event was like lay and pray, but I have been to a UFC card where the main event sucked, and that was pretty disappointing. I think it was a Cheeto Vera Corey Sandhagen fight. That sucked. That sucked. If Islam got a finish, would have turned 400 euros into 6K. Too bad he didn't even look for it. Went crazy on verdict, boys. 15 in the world. Got every main card, fight, and the outcome. Attaboy. Shout out to DFS 5-legger. There we go, micro picks. Attaboy. Bo definitely shut me up and improved his striking this fight. Yeah, he did look better. He just looked more aggressive, honestly. Just looked more aggressive, and Vieira is kind of a punching bag, but was 319 spinning KOs better than to Snooze Fest main event where DDP locked to RNC and almost finished Hamzat on the feet when he got stood up. The greatest card of all time. Yeah, I mean, very similar, right? 319 had some crazy KOs and then stinker main event. Shavkat is so far out of title contention now, although no way they just throw him in. Yeah, no, Shavkat's got to get a win. He's got to get a win. He's been out for too long. The win over Ian Gary wasn't impressive. It was kind of a boring fight too, but it sucked. JDM lost, but this is kind of a blessing in disguise having this problem so young in his career. Now he's going to go back and work on his grappling. That's why he needs to fight a grappler. He either needs to fight Sean Brady or like a Kamaru next. Like, he's got to fight somebody that has a grappling path to win because he's got to prove that he can fight for a title again, you know? Wellmaker sold me 100. It's tough, bro. You got to watch the tape, boys. You got to watch the tape. Rank these guys 1 through 3 by who has the best chance against Islam at 170. Gary, Prates, Morales, Ilya. Well, I don't know that Ilya. I mean, is Ilya really going to move up to 170? Like, realistically, I think the only fights that Islam is going to take are Kamaru Usman or maybe Ilya Topuria at 170. Islam's not going to go back to 155 to fight Ilya. That's just not going to happen. So if Ilya is going to move up to 170, I think Islam would take it. But that's clear. I mean, it's 2 weight divisions higher than what Ilya Topuria really is. So that's kind of fucked. But I think that's the only 2 fights that Islam's going to take. Who has the best chance against Islam out of those 4? I would say I would say Morales or Ilya, but like I still have questions about Morales, you know? Like I would have liked to see Sean Brady get in on like a takedown, get him down to the ground, see if Morales can get back up. Like there's still questions there with Morales, but just pure physicality. He has the wrestling base. Like how legit is the wrestling base is still out for interpretation, but I would say probably Ilya, dude. Probably Ilya. I guess maybe Ian Gary, but like I think if Islam fought Prates, he would just get taken down pretty easily right away, and Islam would probably do the same thing, probably finish him honestly. But Gary maybe he's just too fast. His footwork is too good, but I don't know. I think it's probably Morales or Ilya. Had Camilo Susakai finish Fatima Klein, Dawkins, Wellmaker KO. Damn. That's brutal. I mean, only 2 dogs came through. That was Ewing and Morales. So a lot of chalk came through on that card. Thanks for the Brazilian parlay. I told that. There we go. We got him, boys. We got him. Welterweight is the scariest division in the UFC by far right now. So loaded through the whole top 15. It is insane, dude. It is insane. Hot take, Ian loses to Morales. Could happen, yeah. Could definitely happen. I will Nunes is better and Cyborg is the GOAT? Okay. I think Wellmaker needs to work on his boxing combinations instead of the 1-2 power. Maybe work on those elbows because he was trying to throw punches with his long arms in the clinch. Yeah, I mean, I think he's still a little bit green in MMA. You know, when you're knocking guys out in round 1, you don't really get to see where your flaws are so that you can work on them. The guy's never lost, so he's never had you never felt the loss to be like, holy shit, I need to work on this in my game. You know, like he's working on his game, but there's things that he doesn't need to shore up. He's clearly got huge power, but if he's not connecting with that huge power, how is he winning rounds? You know, he's not the best like volume striker. He's not really great with his defense, and he doesn't really offensively grapple. So he's got a lot to work on, but I think he'll bounce back from that loss. Morales has a problem. He catches Islam and puts him out. I mean, I've been waiting for that for a while, but I don't know, man. Definitely not fraud check though. I won the free premium HOP. Free premium home picks. Well, there you go. We'll get you in there if you haven't gotten it yet. Val is never GOAT combo, only for her division. Definitely the GOAT of 125, but I mean, fucking A, dude. She's just wins, dude. Really thought Chepe was live. I agree. Lost the band on Chepe. That's tough. Love it when main card goes off for the first 3 fights, and then we get 50 minutes of crotch sniffing and Joe Rogan acting more excited than the 3 KOs before. I will say this. Do y'all remember when Leon had Prates up against the cage and Keith Peterson separated them after like 30 seconds of cage push, but not even a thought to stand up Islam versus JDM? And then you think about, you know, when Herb refed against Merab and Sean O'Malley, and Herb was making sure Merab was doing work and was like ready to stand him up a lot. That is where things get interesting when we're talking about the referees being corrupt. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. It's only exciting if you're Maddie. Yeah, I mean, that was beautiful for Maddie. Most fun ground GNP. Ground and pound was Money Moik when he messed up BSD. People need to take advice on ground and pound from that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Valentina fight was fun because I had her by decision. Islam fight was boring because I had him inside the distance. I had Prates, Morales, BSD in my KO cycle. There you go. It's not quite a cycle, though. It's just a KO parlay, brother. Leon got baited into the KO. He did. He should get to wear a hat in the octagon. Yeah. In the cage. That's bad, dude. It looked real bad. Hindsight super 2020. If Brady could get swarmed by Bilal, of course Morales could run through him. I agree. But what we're with the double knee sleeves. All right. What we're with the double knee sleeves. And honestly, Sean Brady had no reason to take the fight against Michael Morales. I think his management fucked him bad in that one. He had no reason to take the fight against Michael Morales. He had just beaten Leon Edwards. He should be fighting Bilal. He should be fighting Bilal the next week instead of Ian Gary, bro. Doesn't make sense to me, but he got fucked, dude. We cashed Niners, Dolphins, Panthers, and Jags plus 1,800. There you go, bro. Morales probably gets the shot, undefeated record with the Latin backing. I wouldn't be shocked, but I just don't really think Islam wants to fight him. Like, what does that do for Islam? And that's where he's at in his career. The Prates KO wasn't even full power, but it was sharp, dude. It was sharp. How would you make the welterweight division now? I would do Islam versus Gary if he beat Bilal. JDM versus Shavkat, Morales versus Prates, Bilal versus Usman. I wouldn't mind the Morales versus Prates. How I would matchmake them and how I think they're gonna matchmake is different, though. Because I already kind of talked about it. I don't really think Islam's gonna fight like a Morales or somebody. Like, I just don't really see it. Maybe if Ian wins, maybe he'd be down for that. And I think the UFC might be down for that, but it's tough. Here's how I think the UFC is going to do it. Islam versus Kamaru Usman, or Islam versus Topuria, if Topuria is moving up to 170. Then they're going to do Ian Gary versus Michael Morales, if Ian Gary beats Bilal, which I think he probably will. Then you do Bilal versus Carlos Prates. Prates needs to fight a grappler. He needs to fight somebody that's going to grapple him if he's going to, contend for a title. JDM versus Sean Brady. Ugh, where the fuck does Shavkat go in there? Shavkat? I don't want to do Shavkat Morales. Maybe they do, though. Maybe they do. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Shavkat Morales. I said I don't think the UFC is going to put two undefeated guys up against each other because they like to keep the undefeated records, but they might do it. Could definitely see Islam wanting Kamaru. Makes the most sense, honestly. Usman said in a post-fight he wants the Usman fight. Said Kamaru can beat both Morales and Prates. I mean, if we think about it from like a matchup, like stylistic matchup for Islam, you can't really give him like another pure striker, bro. You can't really give him another pure striker. And not to say like Gary can't grapple, but it's clear who would have the edge in the grappling there. And Prates, like Islam's going to take down and smother Prates and probably finish him. Morales, we still don't know, but if Islam would take him down and just smother him, I wouldn't be shocked. But like with Usman, at least stylistically, it'd be pretty tough for him to take down and control Usman. And if he does that, then that probably means Usman's mega washed. So stylistically, I think Usman versus Islam is probably the best fight that they can make without it being another Islam takedown and lay and pray type of fight. I mean, I don't think he would lay and pray Prates. Probably finish Prates on the ground, but nice cash testimony. I thought Jaguars would win. Ali got to get paid. Yeah, he's still going to get paid big. Leon's grappling was looking good on the first, but when he started getting touched kind of easy, I knew it was bad. Ian was barely getting touched when he beat Prates until the last round. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. You cannot get touched by Prates. If Prates touches you, you're hurting, bro. You're hurting bad, and you're probably going down. Do you think Ilya is truly good enough to do something on the ground with Islam, or good enough to keep it on the feet if he fought him? Yeah, I kind of do. I mean, Ilya's Ilya's base is Greco-Roman wrestling. Like his base is, he was a grappler before he started knocking dudes out. So, James, I got a free and paid Discord. Okay. Thanks, Sport Testimony. Little nice promo for you there, brother. Bro, would Ilya Taporia power translate to 170? It doesn't even need to be his power, honestly. It's just the technique of it. You think Prates could KO Shavkat? Shavkat's chin is pretty fucking amazing. But I think he could, honestly. I don't know that Shavkat would grapple or strike with him that much, so. Honestly, as much as it sucks, JDM will work on his holes more. Yeah. I mean, it was very clear, like, it's all the I don't want to say the hate, but like the negativity for the Islam performance. JDM should get some of it as well. But like, because JDM couldn't get up. Like, he couldn't get up. So it's kind of on JDM to get up as well. But JDM, it was very clear, like, he knew what to do in all these scenarios to stay safe. But he stayed safe, but he just couldn't get up. So, I mean, he just lost because Islam was just smothering him. JDM was doing all the right things to defend him advancing position or getting into a worse position. It's just kind of tough, bro. Like, you can defend it, but you ain't getting back up. Hey, Jai, when do the picks get posted for Qatar on HOF pick membership? Whenever I put one in, you'll get a text to your phone, brother. Usman, if his age isn't catching up too much, is the most even fight. But I don't think people give enough credit to Ian Gary. I think he has the biggest chance to beat Islam at welterweight. But we will see. We will see. I think Ian will probably get a title shot after. If he beats Bilal in a nice fashion, he might get it, dude. He might get it. Word is Magdalena ran to CVS to purchase a pregnancy test. I wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't doubt it. Genuinely still think Taporia beats him even at 170. We saw how much he struggled in taking down Volk in their first fight, and Taporia's wrestling and striking is arguably better. Not a bad take, man. Not a bad take. I was actually rewatched the JDM and Islam fight, and it was like Islam's takedown entries were just so clean. I mean, JDM was high guard. Islam would just throw like a 1-2. JDM would go high guard, and then he'd back away. Islam would feint like he's going to throw the 1-2. JDM would go high guard, and his hips were just free. It was like free takedowns in the easiest way, man. It's like so easy. What do you think Brady fights next with that said? I think I said JDM, but like, are they going to give JDM Brady? Like, or are they going to give Brady JDM? Because that's kind of, it's up in the rankings for him. So I don't know. Maybe a Buckley. Maybe they do Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. See if Buckley can get his grappling back, you know, because he lost by to Usman for it. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see MVP versus Prates. I would not. You don't think they'd make Ilya versus Islam next? I mean, is Ilya just gonna move up to 170 at this point? Like, he's had one fight at lightweight. Is he just gonna move up to 170? Like, that's another 15 pounds he's got to bulk up for, bro. Like, I don't know that he can do that now. Maybe if he like knocks out his next opponent or finishes the next opponent pretty easily, maybe he does. Shevchenko gets the pass from me to wet blanket whenever she wants. Glad you like that, dude. Weili Zhang was so small. Yeah, she was tiny, bro. Tiny. Ian doesn't deserve that shot, in my opinion, even if he beats Bilal. What happened to real win streaks in the belt? I mean, I would like to see Morales next. I just don't think Islam's going to take it, bro. More than just striking, Gary survived Prates, who was the boogeyman. Yeah, that was pretty impressive, bro. To see what Gary did to him and then see what Prates does to everybody else. We should have known this was going to happen. Look at how old-ass Gilbert was up 20-18. Yeah, kind of. But you would hope like he made more improvements. The bad thing about Morales is that we've barely seen him work in the octagon. He had such a baby face coming into the UFC, and he's grown so much and improved a lot since his first fight. He's a fucking muted, dude. Did you see George Mangos got a round 1 KO 2 days ago and called for a shot in the UFC City in February? It looked incredible. I did not see that, but that's good. Mangos is a good fighter. Morales way too big for Islam. One can hope. Ilya wins. Jack showed that being bigger doesn't equal a harder matchup. Volk and Dustin did way better. They did. I agree. Morales or Ilya would give Islam his biggest test, but isn't that crazy to say given both of those guys are completely different sizes? Very crazy to say. Very crazy to say. Dude, imagine Morales versus Ilya Topuria, bro. The size difference would be off the fucking charts. That would be insane. That would look terrible, honestly. It would look really bad. Especially if Ilya beat him. That would look bad. No one beats Islam? Probably. Probably right, bro. I really thought Chapo was going to KO Pat. Dude, he landed that head kick with like a second left. I was like, bro, give me 10 more seconds, bro. Give me 10 more seconds. Imagine, yeah, dude, imagine that. Imagine that. How long do you think until Morales goes up to middleweight? I would give him like, if he wins the belt at 170, I'm sure he'll probably want to move up to 185. Because I don't know how he makes 170. It makes no sense. With how big these welterweights are, do you think Brady can make lightweight? Him and Morales looked weight classes apart. I don't think Brady can make lightweight. He's just a thick dude. He's a really thick dude at 170. I think he's got too much muscle to be a lightweight. 15 pounds is a lot, dude. Locks of Qatar, do you agree? Abdul Rahman, Yakyev, Armin, and Volkan? I wouldn't say Volkan is a lock, but the other two probably are. I have a question. Why do you want Islam to get beat so bad? Like you said, been waiting a long time. Because it's just not fun to like watch one guy dominate. What do you call it? It's like you just want change, dude. You want change. You want, like, when Islam fights, I want to actually believe like this is a fucking good fight. Like, this is a tough fight. Like, he has a real chance to lose here. You know, like, you want good fights. And I'm not saying like I didn't have a little bit of that with JDM, but like in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's not going to lose this fight, man. Like, he's not going to lose it. Like, you want to go into a fight being like, either guy can win. It's called good matchmaking. With Islam, it's fucking tough. Like, I want to see him lose and then come back in his next fight and win. Like, I want to see the guy go through some type of, I don't want to say downfall. Like, I want to see him lose. You know, it's just how I think most people work. They don't want to see one guy winning all the time. You want change, dude. You want change. It's not like I hate the guy. Like, I actually like Islam. I think he's like probably the most underrated funny guy in the UFC. Like, the dude's fucking hilarious. But like in a sneaky way. It's like a sneaky type of comedy that Islam has. And he's fucking good. And he usually finishes fights. So it's not like I hate the way he fights. He's just so dominant. You want to see something different. 2 weeks, no Herzog. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine that. We haven't seen Jason Herzog since the whole betting scandal. We'll see what's up with that. I'm not sure. Allegedly. People saying JDM was crying, so obviously could see he hurt himself. He was grimacing on the ground, just laying there. Man, what the fuck? What was Joe Rogan? Like, what was he talking about with Jack's leg? I rewatched it today. Islam landed 3 calf kicks. On the stats, it'll say 10 leg kicks landed, but only 3 of them were actually to the calf. And Joe Rogan was acting like he had taken 40 Alex Pereira calf kicks, and the guy could barely stand. Dude, JDM's calf was fine. He was just getting out grappled, and whenever he got taken down, he couldn't get up. If a guy's holding you on the ground and you can't get up, you're probably going to be pretty pissed. you're going to be pretty pissed because the fight is just slipping away because you can't get up off your back. It had nothing to do with the guy's fucking leg. There's no reason that Joe Rogan needed to be talking about the fucking calf kick that much because they were barely on the feet. They were barely on the feet. And Islam landed 3 kicks to the actual calf. Rogan with the calf kicks. He mentioned the fucking steel cups again, the Thai cups. I don't know what this guy needs. Somebody needs to say something, please, dude. Please. Somebody needs to tell Joe Rogan, you can't mention calf kicks this pay-per-view, and you cannot mention steel Thai cups. Please. Our viewers are very frustrated with this because you say it every time. And you don't need to. You don't need to. Okay? We get it. If a guy lands a kick to the calf, it's not going to feel good. But just because he got kicked in the calf doesn't mean he can't walk on it. Especially when the fight is playing out majority on the ground. And because the guy's grimacing while he's being held down on the ground doesn't mean his calf is hurting. What? Good Lord, bro. Like, Rogan, get off the commentary, please. GMG, GM3, and Benny were damaged goods. It's tough. It's tough. To be honest, hey, Jive, I used to hate on you. You grew on me a lot. Now it's Maddie that annoys me. Well, maybe Maddie will grow on you too. But thanks for that, brother. Glad you came around. BSD versus Chandler. Take my money in January. Bro, what is Michael Chandler still doing in like talks against like real contenders, bro? Nah, no thanks. Brady had a clear path for the belt if he just waited. Yeah, I think his management fucked him. Y'all are acting like you weren't just saying Herzog and Goddard are the best refs. Ain't nobody told. I never said Jason Herzog was the best ref. Hey, Job, when you watch tape on fighters, what are some tips, keys, points you look out for come out with your pick? Stylistics. When you're going to watch tape, you got to look at the stylistics of it. So if you got a striker that's going up against the grappler, you probably got to try to find fights where he's getting, takedown attempts on him, or fights where he's going through grappling sequences. How does he use range? How good is his scrambles? How good is his get up games? Is his submission defense okay? Stuff like that. Got to look at the stylistics of it. You can't just watch it through like a blank lens. You got to know who his opponent is and how that's going to actually, how that can be replicated in the fight coming up, Have Topuria fight the winner of this weekend and Islam fight Morales. Why would Topuria fight anybody else other than the champion, dude? I think the refs let the crowds and the outside context of the fights affect how they ref it to a very noticeable extent. I agree. Islam took 0 damage. We will see you in 10 months. We will see you in 10 months, Islam. We'll see you next year, October, in Abu Dhabi. Maybe at the White House, actually. That would be all right. DFS cookout strikes again, absolutely. JDM was so worried about the sub D and not the takedown D. 100%. I think Ian needs to get a finish to get a title shot now. I mean, he better. If he expects a title shot off of a decision victory against Bilal, buddy, you need to go get your fucking brain checked, because that is delusional. I swear to God, if Ian Gary wins a 29-28 or a 30-27 decision over Bilal and demands that he's next for the title, I'm going to fucking lose it. Because Ian, you just watch Michael Morales KO Sean Brady. You just watch Carlos Prates KO Leon Edwards. You got to get a KO over Bilal if you want to be calling for the next title shot. I'm going to say it before it happens, because that's probably what's going to happen. It's probably going to 30-27 Bilal, be like, get on the mic and say that he wants the next title shot. But sit down, buddy. Thoughts on Big John returning to reffing? I hear some of his take on his pod, and I'm like, oh shit. Just when I thought reffing couldn't get any sketchier. Is he actually? I saw a rumor, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. If you could only pick one foot. What? I think Morales beats everyone in the welterweight division right now. I mean, it's tough to say because he's never lost, but everyone has their day. UFC Qatar card is a very solid fight night. Do you think if Gary versus Blah is 5 rounds though? Oh, do I know? I think it's 3. I think it's 3 rounds. Shavkat versus Morales. I'll be down for that. Islam will take at least 8 to 9 months off, unfortunately. Doesn't want to be in camp during Ramadan, so we're talking August 2026 earliest. I think he could probably fight in like June, July. I think he'll probably want to fight on the White House card, dude. Maybe they do Ilya versus Islam at the White House, bro. It's 2 of the biggest stars in the UFC right now. That would kind of make sense. If you could only have one food during UFC events for the rest of your life, what would it be? Oh, it's tough. One food. I'll probably go with like some nachos, bro. I love some good nachos when I'm watching any type of sport. Nachos. They got to have like a lot of meat on them, though. Give me some steak. Give me some barbacoa. Yeah, probably go nachos, bro. What if Gaethje versus Patty for vacant 150? Oh my God, no! We can't have the 155-pound belt vacant again. Vacant 155 title, and Ilya moved up already this time. They didn't advertise that the 155 champ was waiting on this event's results to determine if he would defend. Yeah, that's it. That is one thing that kind of has stood off the board to me is they haven't announced the first pay-per-view or the first numbered card under the Paramount deal for next January. They haven't announced anything on that card. So that kind of does make me think, is the 155-pound title going to be on the line? And if it is Ilya Topuria going to be in it? Because it seems like if they were going to make Ilya versus Gaethje or even Ilya versus Patty, why hasn't it been announced yet? So maybe they were waiting to see what happened with the Islam and JDM fight. Because if Islam won, maybe Ilya is going to move up to 170 and fucking track this man down for running from him when he moved up to 155. Could be interesting. Islam versus Usman would be such a sleeper, though. I feel like no one wants to see that. We all know is winning that. Islam's winning that. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, but I mean, I don't want to see it, but I think that's kind of what the UFC might do. JDM crying in the corner. That was brutal, dude. Brutal to watch. I'm fighting on the next pay-per-view on the prelims. Wish me luck. Don't know who Dope Boy is. Should we guess? Nah, we'll move on from that. JDM was crying. He was not crying, but he was definitely on the verge. I think Morales has the best chance to beat Islam simply because of the size. Dude's a fucking weight bully, dude. MVP is an 85 right now. Yeah, that's true. JDM versus Brady would be perfect to see how far they could patch up their holes in a short amount of time. Definitely. Ilya needs to stop chasing. Morales is Jai Herbert's height, but 20 pounds more muscle. Dude, they list Michael Morales at 6 foot. I'm telling you right now, he's not 6 foot. He is at minimum 6'2" and maybe 6'3", 6'3.5". No chance he's 6 foot. He's definitely 6'2". And he's not like a Carlos Prates, like skinny 6'2". He's fucking built. He's built like a brick fucking shithouse, dude. Saw the man in person. The dude's huge. I don't know how the fuck he makes 170. It makes no sense. At least we get JDM's stock to be low against other welterweights. I would still hammer him against Shavkat, Prates, Buckley, Usman. Only would really fade him against Morales and maybe Brady. You know what would be actually an insane fight, though? JDM versus Prates. That would be a fucking insane scrap, dude. Like, if Prates could KO JDM, holy fuck, dude. That dude would be... I would have seen enough. I'd be like, okay, he fucking KOs Islam. No, I'm kidding. But that would be a sick fight. Islam is meme material, and they should have a mandatory 3 fights a year. That would be tough. That would be very tough. DC just yapping too sounds like a teenage casual sometimes. I mean, I don't even mind. I don't mind DC because at least he'll say different stuff. You know, at least he'll throw in some jokes. But with Rogan, it's fucking terrible, man. Rogan is known for only talking about. Yeah, no, he is. I mean, I've said it before. I've gone at him, not gone at him, but like I've expressed my dislike for Joe Rogan's commentary because it's just the same shit over and over and over again. He needs to talk about rising gloves for eye pokes. No, they're pride gloves. The pride gloves. That's another thing that he likes to talk about is the pride gloves. Yeah. JDM talked about how Craig had the Dagestan counter and then he couldn't get up. That's why he was frustrated. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The whole thing with the Dagestan counter is like creating scrambles and like not being like tentative in positions, like kind of being aggressive but still defensively sound. But the thing is, like, he would make a move, but Islam would just be one step ahead, or he'd be like, okay, I can't go for the submission here, and let me just reestablish control. You know, who has the best custom fighting shorts? Honestly, I think Toporia's are probably the best, but a close second, Marab's are pretty sick. Marab's shorts are definitely up there. I'd probably say Topuria, Marab. I feel like there's one that's like low key pretty sick that I'm forgetting. You know, like obviously the Holloways, like those are cool because they're just kind of their style, but like the details on the Topuria one, the details on Marab's, I think are pretty sick. Islam's are nice too. They're a little bit more low key. That's kind of my style. I know I'm not gonna pull up with a fucking floral shirt on like Poirier's shorts and Holloway shorts. I'm more of a low key style with like some nice details. So that's why I like those. But there's some cool ones out there, man. It wasn't his calf, his soul was crushed. Yeah, dude. Not his fucking calf, bro. Check that man's soul. All right. Joe Rogan, you don't got to talk about his calf. Why are you looking at his calf? Look him in the eyes. All right. Look him in the eyes. His soul was crushed. It ain't the fucking calf. How do you like the amount of times they call a punch or kick that we clearly see miss? I fucking hate that too. I hate that too. Whenever you hear like one of the commentators be like, oh, that left hand got through and it didn't even connect, or they both landed a punch at the same time, but they only call it out for one guy, then I'm like, dude, is this commentary is feeling a little bit biased, you know? It's kind of feeling a little bit biased if a guy just completely whiffs a shot, but they're like, holy shit, that left hand. Moicano did lose one round, but Moicano lost less rounds than JDM and probably got to pay the same amount of money for it, if not more. I enjoy Rogan as a person and how much he loves the sport, but Lorosenko deserves. Dude, honestly, I'm not even kidding you. Lorosenko is 10 times the commentator Joe Rogan is right now. Maybe even more. All right, Lorosenko will pull up stuff that me as an MMA bettor and an MMA content creator would be like, holy shit, she knows her stuff. She did her homework, because we watch these guys' fights all the way back to the regionals. We have to deep dive on these guys to find out who we want to bet on, or, you know, where we want to put our money. So we got to deep dive on these guys. And we find little things here and there that when Lorosenko mentions it on the commentary team, I'll be like, holy shit, she actually is like deep diving on these people. With Rogan, you see none of that. There's no deep dive. There's no research that this guy does leading up to a card. He just fucking shows up and says the same stuff over and over again. And obviously, you know, Senko's not as well known as a Joe Rogan, But the real ones know, like Lorosenko is a better commentator than Joe Rogan at this point. Maybe Rogan was better back in the day, but he hasn't evolved at all. He barely keeps up with the sport. I feel like he just tunes into, maybe a couple of the fights on a fight night. He's there for the pay-per-views. That's probably good enough, but he says the same stuff over and over again. Lorosenko will call out what one guy did in his 5th professional fight 8 years ago. Like it's insane what she will come up with that actually does it. That's actually like relevant to the fight. And she knows what's going on in the fight as well. So, and she knows all the stuff about the judging and the refereeing. She knows more about the rules. She knows more about the updated rules than a guy like Rogan. So Lorosenko's the better commentator. I agree with you, bro. Who you got, Ian Gary or Bilal? You know what I just realized? Some people are gonna say that I'm like, they're gonna comment like, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. But that's just cope. That's just cope, bro. Lorosenko's the better fucking commentator. That's what it is. Marcano gonna be under investigation with Herzog after that BSD performance, then just got destroyed against Islam. Yeah. Marcano definitely fucking sold that fight against Islam, bro. Dude, we haven't even talked about Dylan Dennis. Holy shit. Holy shit. How about it, man? How about it? Dylan Dennis showing up to MSG. Gets into a fight with Team Habib. About 10 of the members of Team Habib fucking jumped the shit out of Dylan Dennis. And did anything happen to those guys? Are they going to be banned? A lot of those guys are fighters that are in the UFC. Are any of those guys going to face repercussions? Because apparently Dylan Dennis can never attend a UFC fight ever again. So Dylan Dennis is, I guess, maybe has a possibility. Dana said that the UFC is not going to press charges for Dylan Dennis or press charges on Dylan Dennis for what happened. But there was 2 parties there, and there was one Dylan Dennis and about 10 guys from Team Habib. So I don't know, man. Is there any repercussion from the 10 guys that were on Team Habib? Now, I saw that they had to leave the arena too, and they had to watch it at the hotel or whatever. But dude, that was a better fight than Islam. It was. Leave it to Dylan Dennis to have a more entertaining fight than the main event. Is what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if Colby got the next time. Dude, please no. Ian thinks he's losing to Shavkat, earned him a title shot. Yeah, it's so funny. Probably going to call it Usman if he wins. That'd probably be smart. Why was JDM looking like he was about to cry all fight? Barely took any damage. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. You think Ilya beats Islam at 170? He's going to have a good chance. Hey, drive 3 legs of men hits again, folks. That's back-to-back weeks, boys. It's back-to-back weeks. Plus 300, too. Plus 300. Some people get on me, be like, there's all 3 favorites. Dude, it's plus 300. I'll take that all day. My phone died for the Brady contention combo. Sorry, bro. You're going to have to go back and watch. What's up, boys? I didn't even watch the co-main and main, but heard they were boring. Made 3.52 units on it. Nice. Yeah, they were fucking terrible, bro. They were terrible. Dope boy is Cedriquez Dumas? No way. Easy money this coming Saturday? I hope so. I think there's some decent spots. Does everyone in the chat know? Hey, Job, catch that 20x DFS. Big thank yous. Love the DFS breakdown and thought process. Appreciate that, brother. We've been cashing all year. 226% ROI on the DFS long shots. Who else is doing that, boys? Who else is doing that? Come on. The moment we saw Brady's double knee and ankle sleeves, you knew it was absolutely cooked. Yeah, that was a bad look, man. Off topic, Pantoja's sub free money in a couple weeks. Probably, honestly. Might have cooked with that JDM versus Prates. Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. That would be an insane fight. Insane fight. Mandatory 2 fights a year. I would be down for that. UFC commentary would be 10 times better with bedtime Lucas Tracy and then a betting analyst like Hey Jive or Jewish Better. There you go. Bring me on. Bring me on to the betting analysis. I'll be the Yanni the Greek of the bedtime Lucas Tracy commentary. There you go. Eagles -2.5 is a Wallamundo, boys. We'll see about that. Pantoja has the best shorts. He does have some nice shorts. A little bit weird though, like the Dragons. I thought I saw something about him describing it, and he said he just thinks Dragons are cool. You know, it's kind of weird. Max shorts are tough. Honestly, when Leon had custom shorts, those were decent, yeah. Pereira's are nice, of course. Legendary. Just bought the Pantoja shorts for $190. Jesus Christ, dude. That's a pretty penny for some shorts. Alex has a triple champ equals GOAT. Marab with a couple more wins. Ilya, if he beats Islam, and an impressive opponent. Islam is already there. We haven't had so many fighters close to GOAT. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not saying Alex Pereira is a fucking GOAT, but Marab, the thing is, like, I honestly think Marab, Ilya, and Islam are probably the 3 best fighters of all time. I mean, there's different eras. Like, you can't really judge the eras, but I'm pretty sure this is the best era that MMA has ever seen because it's the highest level of competition. It's the most popular sport has ever been. So you're going to have more guys that are better fighters. I just think it's the best era is right now. It's the most popular sport's ever been. And you're riding probably 10 plus years of the McGregor effect to where the sport has been popular so that people 10 years ago that might have started training or have been training for 10 plus years. So right now, I think Marab, Ilya, and Islam are the 3 best fighters of all time. That's the Mount Rushmore, man. Like, they got to be on the Mount Rushmore. John Jones, I guess you can throw him on there too, whatever. I mean, he beat up a bunch of fucking middleweights and old men and guys that were twice his age and shit like that. But those are 3 best fighters of all time, in my opinion. I'm still going with the Iceman Chuck. Liddell Shorts, still the coolest. Good throwback. Volkan Metafield over at plus 175. That is a nice look. Nice look. Commentary ranking. Can't do it right now. I got to think about it. People forget, man. Lorosenko is annoying. She's always oohing and awing with every significant strike that lands on someone's guard. We can't have a white girl commentators. Dude, honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I will listen to Lorosenko ooh and ah over Joe Rogan overly mentioning calf kicks and bringing up steel tie cups all the time. I will gladly deal with that. And if it comes back to bite me, I asked for it, you know? Commentary would be way better with Lucas Tracy bedtime. Yeah, you said that. I agree, though. Hey, Jive, what's the next fights you think you're going to go to? I think I'm going to go to the Apex card at the end of the year. Yeah, I think I'm going to go there. Might go to fucking Qatar this Saturday. No, I'm kidding. Or have a second broadcast focus on gambling with Jive. Jewish better and lucrative James. The tough thing is, like, fucking live streaming is so draining, man. It's so draining. I can't imagine doing it for 6 hours. Seems like we could have Joe Rogan still do the interviews, but maybe, yeah, I would agree with that too. Slide Sanko in there for that part, a compromise. I think Rogan, yeah, just let Rogan do the fucking interviews. Rogan's good with the interviews. Those are fine. Hey, bro, do you have a job or do you full-time YouTube? This is my job. Yeah, this is my job. Don't have a side job. Or this isn't my side job. This is my job. Dylan should press charges, if anyone. Yeah, I agree. You're 2 legs down on a cycle. The payout is $200K. The cash out is $190K. What are you doing? I would probably cash out, but there's no way that cash out is going to be $190K. They would never give you that. Dylan asked for it, man. You know exactly how he is on the internet. Biggest troll. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but yeah. Where the fuck is Colby? Let JDM KO Colby? Bro, come on. That wouldn't even be a fight. Dylan was cussing out everyone he saw. Fair. Can we get a secondary UFC betting broadcast? Maybe next year. Maybe we could do something next year. We'll see. But the last 3 cards, I ain't gonna do anything new. At least we got John Pork on the main card last night. True. So what? 10 people versus 1 inbred behavior? Versus 1 is inbred behavior? Yeah. You think Dana White and UFC allows Topuria to move up once again without defending his current belt? I mean, they probably allow it. I mean, he could do whatever the fuck he wants at this point. Topuria runs that shit. D-Rod is in jail outside the country, bro. I saw that too. Apparently, D-Rod's in jail on like some drug charges or something, but Jesus, man. That's not a good look. Not a good look. Intrigued by Islam and Kamaru Usman fight, but I'd like to see Usman fight Brady and really stamp his shot. Well, if he fights Brady now, there's really no point in that, but if he gets another win, sure. Luis Hernandez with the 199 dono. Thank you, brother. We need to see you on Show Me the Money podcast. It would be pretty hard because I'm not in Florida anymore, but got to hit up old Matty Gilbert and Hanato for that, brother. So you think Ian Parker is doing a humiliation ritual with his betting show? Did he have a bad card again, dude? Poor Ian. Was surprised to hear you were leaning Jack over Oral by. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying leans, but like these are just my initial thoughts. Like I'm gonna go back and look at the tape for one, watch the tape, look at some stats, and then I'll weigh like what do I actually want to do, who do I actually think wins. But based on where the line was, I'll be like, okay, Jack's done more in the sport. He's the underdog. If his weight cut is fine, he should be able to compete pretty heavily here. So that's why I lean towards Jack, but it could definitely change. I haven't watched any tape on that yet. Already missed Dana White Contender Series. Me too. When is the White House card? I thought it was in June. I knew my Brady bets were cooked. Yeah, it's fucking brutal, bro. Brutal. I mean, that's just the worst, man. Guy comes out in 2 knee sleeves. You know you're cooked. Prime BJ Penn would beat Marab. That schizo strength gotta be crazy. That's crazy, bro. Incoming casuals mentioning title defense and steroid merchants. Yeah, agreed. Hear me out, TJ. As a commentator, he's an incredible IQ when it comes to MMA. He knows his shit. Well, yeah, he's a fucking amazing fighter. He definitely knows his shit. The thing that I think TJ would be a fine commentator, but I just wish they would know a little bit more about the fighters themselves, Like I don't think TJ knows guys like that are going to be on the prelims. Like he could get to know them, but is he going to actually do that, or is he just going to show up? Brother, have you spoke Wellmaker yet? I joined late, but how about Ewing? Patrick would have been proud. Yeah, Patrick Ewing would. We did talk about it a little bit. Just saying Wellmaker's going to learn from it because he's never tasted defeat before. Cooper DeJean, interception. Told you, boys, Eagles -2.5. There you go. How do you get my job? You got to start making content, brother. You got to start making content. You got to actually dial in on your bets, actually learn how to bet professionally, how to actually place plus EV bets, not be emotional, have bankroll management, make some content around it, and then you'll have my job. But it's not going to be easy, and you're going to have to put a lot of work in before you see any progress. Ian Gary just got whaled to -250. Damn. I won't play Balal, but the +3.5 could be interesting. Pussy bet. Sorry, bro. Dylan subs John Pork in the grappling match. Yeah, he does. Definitely does. Even in the post-fight, Rogan asked BSD if he was looking at a shot straight for the title when he needs to sit down. D-Rod was making cocaine. That's fucked. Future parlay. Islam welterweight champion at the end of 2026. Hamzat champion at the end of 2026. Both barely fight and are very dominant. The only worry would be if Islam retired. Then you lose. Ian Parker went down 144 units Holy shit. Went 1-5 on the main card. What? There's no way. There's no way. Can't be that bad. DFS players eating prime rib at the cookout this weekend. 9-4 on a pick for every fight. Books are cooked. Yeah, we absolutely smacked them on the books. I can't believe I fucked myself, though. Taking Whaley over on takedowns. Terrible look. Terrible look, but near sweep. And if you watch the one play for every fight video, you did pretty well. The weight difference between Whaley and Valentina was insane. Whaley was looking for the trip, but had no leverage. Yeah, they would get into the clinch, and Valentina would just rip the underhooks, and then she literally could just pick her up and drop her on her back because she's so much bigger, so much stronger. It wasn't fair. How much money do you think the books made off of Sims betting on Tracy? I don't know many people that are betting on Tracy, but if they did, they deserve to lose their money. The amount of disrespect Valentina was getting is crazy. It's like just because Zhang picked Shaq up, she was a goddess elsewhere. I respect Zhang, but Bullet, yeah. I mean, Valentina's just too smart, honestly. Just too smart, too big, too strong, and too willing to have a boring fight. I got KO. Do you sports bet full time? Well, I do content full time, and then my winnings on sports bet's kind of like my part time. I don't think I can support my lifestyle just off of sports betting because I wouldn't want that pressure. The pressure is enough for me to get fucking worked up about fights. So if my livelihood was based on me winning or losing, I couldn't do it. Maybe at some point if my bankroll's big enough, but my bankroll's just not big enough, bro. Might just DM Medi and ask for a job at HOF. You better be fucking willing to work, bro. Angela Hill needs to retire because what the fuck? Yeah, she does. Whaley was my only bet last night. Yeah, that's tough, bro. JDM clearly won the walkout. I thought we had a chance after seeing that. Yeah, maybe next time, bro. Maybe next time. Hey, Job, I came on the long shot show, gave out 620 to 1. Prates round 2 KO, Blanchfield 2-3 sub. JDM decision. Yeah, that's tough, bro. That's a huge fucking parlay. I hope you hedged out a little bit. Man. I hope you hedged out a little bit because that is some big money. Valentina versus Nunes, who you got? Fuck, dude. I might take Valentina to get it done in the third because Nunes inactivity, I'm betting first minute KO on Abdul Rahman Yakayev. Good luck. Sprinkle on Ewing decision. Plus 1,200 paid off. Nice. Morales is massive. I think he would beat Islam, mostly using his size. I hope we could see, bro. I hope we could see that one day. And I hope they make Islam take a fight that's not Kamaru Usman, but we'll see. All right, boys. I'm going to hop out of here. Hour and 13 minutes. Hot off the pay-per-view. We got UFC Qatar this Saturday. Should be a solid card. Got some good fights. Got all the new faces. Got a lot of research to get done in the lab. Appreciate y'all for joining me tonight on the Sunday service. I'll probably just, throw on JDM versus Islam. Help me fall asleep tonight. Maybe I could just start it off with Valentina versus Whaley, but should be able to fall asleep pretty good. If we got that. We got the pay-per-view too, so go just pull it back up. Go to sleep to that and wake up tomorrow, get back in the lab, get the best locked in or get some research done. Should be a good week. Normal scheduled program. I'll have the picks video out to you guys on Wednesday. I'll have a live stream Wednesday night. I think for the betting show, DFS Thursday, long shots only live Friday. Should be a good week. But I'm out of here, boys. Appreciate y'all. Till next time, AJ Picks.